As Collective, Sid Jervis here. The Dragon Ball franchise is one of my favorites. While it is not without its flaws, some of which are very significant, it excels in its storytelling that I feel is getting lost as it goes on and expands. Now, there are a few ways to tell a story. Some stories focus on characters, some on the world and the elements thereof, as they relate to the deeper philosophical thoughts of the artist. Some are feel good, and some are plot driven and others narrative. The focus of the Dragon Ball franchise is thematic based storytelling. Now, a disclaimer is needed before I go on. I am relying on the Funimation English dub, and I am aware that it took excessive liberties, which not only affected dialogue auxiliary, but to some extent the public's understanding of the lore and characterization. So, if I am mistaken in some way, feel free to correct me, though I will likely still feel a lot of this holds up. As for the themes it explores, just to name a few, whether it being that you should strive to be better and not the best, or that rest, leisure, and learning is just as important as physical training, or that hard work and training can be gained and found in everyday tasks, and to find ways to make your routines better challenge you and to grow, all three of which is taught by Master Roshi, Goku's best teacher, by the way. King Kai could never. All he did was teach him techniques. He didn't imbue Goku with a life philosophy that Master Roshi gave him, which made him the fighter and person he is, or that hard work, connections, and bonds with others can overcome raw talent as when Goku toppled Vegeta, or how Tien Shinhan's values were challenged when Master Roshi as Chucky Chun wingly through the match challenging his belief that the only thing that matters is ruthless victory, or when Goku called Tien Shinhan out on his dishonesty, which struck a chord with Tien Shinhan, stopping him dead when he was mouthing off the Yamcha, or when you're more than your ancestors and you don't have to be as they would expect of you, as with when Piccolo became good when he trained up Gohan, and renounced his former self in terms of King Piccolo's wishes. Likewise when Vegeta unlearned over time his Proto Saiyan culture, and even when androids 8, 16, 17, and 18 found ways to reject and override their destructive programming, or the bonds of family, more reward and true joy to be found in being a good person, that when the chips are down, those with everything lose, can and will overcome that which threatens to take it all away, that just as life is filled with dangers and mistakes from the past that can come back to break you, you can overcome, grow, and find more surprises in life that will enhance your life going forward in ways that you could never have expected. And this, of course, brings me to what I believe is the most thematic element and somewhat misunderstood to be found in the franchise. All of which the following are my interpretations, of course, as this concept I'm going to explore was, as far as I can tell, never explicitly stated by Toriyama himself. That being where the characters face the lost parts of themselves and embrace it, and that comes in the form of the transformations that make them ascend to higher and higher levels. Let me begin with the most famous, bringing us to the first time we ever saw the legendary Super Saiyan debut against Frieza. Goku ascended to loss, yes, but during the fight before it happened, and all the way to his first meeting with Raditz, Goku was struggling not against Frieza, but was unwilling to accept the fact he was a Saiyan subconsciously. But I feel as soon as he accepted it by letting his primal rage out, he at the same time accepted that this is what he is. If you notice before he transforms, he will occasionally say he's a Saiyan, but from Earth, as if a subconscious way to distance himself from the fact. But after he transforms, he just says he is a Saiyan and very seldom brings up the fact that he's from Earth, along with it. Contrary, Vegeta transformed when he was in the rage, admitting to himself that he wasn't going to catch up to Goku, and that he was humiliated when he said he didn't care anymore, letting go of his desperation. And now when Vegeta challenges Goku, it is more of a tense rivalry than an enemy that was humiliated him. While he is still humiliated to one degree or another, he doesn't have the same sort of hatred and animosity towards Goku, letting his pride go a bit. Next up with Gohan, he became Super Saiyan 1 when he became more courageous in the face of his internal fears and lack of confidence in terrifying situations. That is not to say he didn't act, but it was more of a primal rage and the need to do something. something is outgrown through the first set of Dragon Ball Z, but on to reaching the zenith in the Time Chamber when he truly transformed. In his first fight with Cell, he only truly achieved Super Saiyan 2 when he learned that it's okay to get angry and use it. As for Piccolo, he became a super Namek when he came to face with Kami, something he resented, but then later embraced him back into his life in the most intimate way possible by merging with him, a part of himself that he rejected in losing so much, but now is whole again when he refused, regaining his true self and his true potential. And lastly, in GT, as poorly executed as it was, when Goku transformed into Super Saiyan 4, he only did so by not just accepting that he was a Saiyan, but embracing all the ways of what it means to be a Saiyan, including the raw, destructive primal force of the Leslie Zaru, channeling it into a true merging of the primal and the warrior. And that's just why the franchise is feeling so much emptier now. It does have themes, but they are more half-hearted, especially the transformations, which are just so hollow. They aren't being achieved by accepting the rawest parts of themselves in a time of desperation. Super Saiyan Gold, Power of Many. Super Saiyan Blue, Right to Rex Machina. And even with the philosophy behind the Ultra Instinct as cool as it is, just doesn't make sense for Goku with his concept of letting go of his emotions and let his body do the work. He has always felt the most natural and at ease with fighting. Ironically, that philosophy is a better lesson for Vegeta, as he is a more emotional fighter. That's not to say Ultra Instinct couldn't work for Goku. It's just and it wouldn't match Goku. It's just the philosophy behind it just does not fit Goku's character, as he has always had that character trait to one degree or another. But that trend didn't begin with Super. It began ironically enough in Dragon Ball Z itself with Goten and Trunks when they randomly transformed for a shock gag, and by having them do that, it messed up the template of just how important those transformations are and what it means to get them. Unfortunately, I also have to throw in Super Saiyan 3 into there was just something Goku could do having gained it off screen in the time skip. Same with Mystic Gohan, gained by nothing more than a ritual dance via maids. Well, that is all for now. Feel free to follow me, like and share. Take care, don't press yourselves, and be creative.